In today's Take of the Day, I want to talk about, did the NBA executives and scouts make the right decision by not voting LeBron as the best player in the NBA? But before we get into that, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get the newest content first. And let's just go ahead and jump right into this here. So when I say that, you got to look at other players in the league. Now, of course, we know, or some of us know, that LeBron isn't ranked number one or the best player in the league because of what just happened. The two players that they put in front of LeBron James were the Greek Freak, Giannis, and KD, Kevin Durant. Now, most people could argue that Kevin Durant is the best player in the league. And I tell you, if you listen to Skip Bayless on Undisputed, he will be the first to tell you Kevin Durant is the best player in the league, hands down, not even close. And I do think that's not 100% false, but at the same time, you can always make a case for LeBron James being the best player in the league simply because his stats always are amongst the top. I mean, he's always averaging somewhere near a triple-double. I think this past year, 28, 7 and 8, 28, 7 and 7. I mean, it's really hard to beat those numbers, especially if you're consistent, at doing it at a high level, even at 36 years old, damn near playing 20 years in the NBA. And I'm not even a LeBron fan. It's just the fact that sometimes you got to show respect towards, the great ones, because they deserve it. They earned it. And they're living up to what the hype has been around them all these many years. And LeBron has definitely been one of those players who has lived up to the hype of what what or how people have hyped him up throughout his career. People have always said he's the chosen one. He's this, he's that. And like I said, I've never been a LeBron James fan, but at the same time, I always respected the fact that he's one of the only players that I remember that when coming out of high school or college, they beefed him up and he really lived up to the expectation and beyond it. So you definitely have to give him credit for that. And he's still doing it at a very late age in his elder career in the NBA. But right now, more people are looking at Kevin Durant as the best player. Now, the NBA scouts and the executives are saying that Giannis and Kevin Durant are tied for number one as the best player in the NBA. It's almost like 1A, 1B. And the reason why I think they're doing this is because, for one, Kevin Durant, he's always been looked at by a lot of people as number two to LeBron. And maybe with the exception of a couple years ago or 2 seasons ago, then, Kawhi Leonard was looked at as the best player, in the NBA and things like that. So, you can always, some will argue, KD, Kawhi, KD within that 2-3 range of LeBron. It's always pretty much been like that the last few years. And me personally, just to put out there, my favorite player is Kawhi Leonard. So I look at him as the best player, in my personal opinion, because, when I think about basketball, it's two ends of the floor. It's offense and defense. And if you can play both at a high level, to me, you're the best player. That's just my opinion. That's just my take. But, oh, well, let's just stick to the topic. Well, when we think about how good Kevin Durant has been over the last several years, decade, whatever you want to say, you can put some of his career stats and some of his seasons against LeBron James, of course. And there's a lot of people out there who would say Kevin Durant is a better player. He averaged more points. And like I said, he's more of the player that can dominate on levels that LeBron can't. Because, when you look at it, we can take out the X's and O's. We can take out all those things. Sometime or a lot of times in the playoffs, it comes down to your player hitting the biggest shot and who has the best jump shot, who comes through in the clutch, all these things. And to be honest, I think between LeBron and KD, it's really close. You know what I'm saying? But more people will probably look at Kevin Durant is more of a clutch player just because he has a jump shot and LeBron really doesn't. And we all know you can't make layups forever. At some point, you have to go out there and knock down a big shot. But with that being said, LeBron has knocked down big shots as well. So you definitely can't discredit what LeBron has done, but you definitely can't discredit KD because him knocking down big jumpers, that's what he does. And, if you want to be technical, the last time we seen LeBron versus KD, well, KD definitely got the best of that matchup twice. And LeBron did beat KD once when he was on OKC, but, hey, that was ages ago, just like when The Warriors played the Cavaliers ages ago, but technically in the finals, Kevin Durant is up 2-1, if you want to look at it that way, because I'm pretty sure some fans out there just take that notion and look at it that way. But when you look at the stats and everything, they're pretty close. But more likely, I'm going to say that the executives made the right decision because of how the league has always been. Now, in regards to Giannis's case, I don't look at Giannis as the best player in the NBA. I personally don't. I just don't see his game to that level. I see his game to a level of MVP status, playing really well. But let's be real, Giannis wouldn't have won that championship if the Brooklyn Nets didn't have all their other superstars injured besides Kevin Durant. And on top of that, they wouldn't have won the championship if they had to play the Clippers or the Lakers in the NBA Finals, because everybody knows that's who it would have been, one of those two teams, if both of them teams didn't have injuries. Let's just keep it real. So when I look at Giannis' championship, I give him credit for what he's done, but I can't say he's the best player because he didn't go through the best of the best competition. I mean, he did play Kevin Durant. I will give him that. And, he did beat Kevin Durant head to head. So, I got to give him credit there. But my personal opinion, in the NBA Finals, I don't want to see Giannis versus Chris Paul. I really don't, because I think Chris Paul is I've never been a Chris Paul fan either. It's something about him, his game or something like that I just don't respect or like or something like that. I just don't think Giannis played the best competition. If Giannis played the Lakers or the Clippers in the finals, then it would be a whole lot different, because he would have beaten a LeBron James in the NBA Finals, and he would have beat a Kevin Durant in a 7-game series, even though he didn't have his crew. Or he would have beaten a Kawhi Leonard in the NBA Finals, which is a top 2, top 3 player as well. And he would have beaten Kevin Durant in the first or second round, as he did to get to the NBA Finals. Now, see, to me, that would have been more impressive. But at the same time, you got to give Giannis credit too, because everybody knows when you win the championship, it's almost like the NBA goes through you. So when you look at it from that perspective, the NBA has to go through Giannis this year because he's the last to win the championship. That's how the NBA has always been. So you got to give Giannis credit there. But at the same time, you also got to look at Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant is a monster. And like I said, his offensive arsenal is on another level compared to LeBron's, especially at this stage in LeBron's career, even though LeBron's still putting up good numbers. But, hey, it's all about, winning, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that LeBron lost to the Suns in the first round, and a lot of people thought, maybe LeBron could have done something about it, which I don't think he could have without Anthony Davis. But I mean, hey, at some point, it is what it is. And at some point, it's time to pass the torch. And LeBron has held that torch long enough, and he's still ranked up there as one of the best players in the NBA. But he shouldn't feel sluggish or anything like that he didn't get voted number 1 or anything like that. It's just one of them situations where Father Time is starting to catch up to you, even though you're still playing at a high level, but you didn't win. And with LeBron James, the expectation is to win it all and nothing less. And because he didn't do that, well, that's the reason why the NBA execs and the scouts didn't really look at him or view him as the number 1 player. So in all seriousness and all rights, I guess that's fair. But at the same time, you could be objective to that. And I definitely, respect your opinion if you are. But leave any comments in the comment section about this topic if you choose to. I really appreciate it. And let's engage and talk about it. And hey, Khaliis out.